Would you say that you've had any sort of
a ton of rejection? And that's part of the reason why I asked. I mean, even now, like a ton of rejection, asking big time guests to come on the podcast, selling apparel, seeking ways to help people in their wellness and fitness journey, vendors and venues to host events, sponsors that we're interested in working with for the podcast. And then I came across Let Them by Mel Robbins. And you come to realize that it's not about chasing. It's about what you guys did at Balboa Park, which is attracting. And I'm curious, what was it about that experience at Balboa Park where you guys were able to gravitate and get attention? Was it music? Was it the taste? Was it the chalkboard? What was the thing that made people turn their heads towards you and away from the magician? Because I think that's a metaphor. It's an analogy for other things.
That's such a good question. And I also have one more question for you because you said something really cool there, but I 100% think it was the energy that we were creating just with our personalities. Like we were two goofy guys. I was a little bit more outgoing. Hayden was a little bit more reserved, which changed over time. But we were able to like have these funny sayings and people would ask us what's in it. And we'd come up with some funny ingredient and people's jaws would drop. And then we would just like, nah, just kidding. Like it's just, so we were really able to just kind of be different and be silly. And we carried that through our business. So I think that would be my answer there.
I think when you make humor your default emotion, it's lighthearted for people, especially in Southern California where everything's so expensive. The cognition becomes just complaining about work, about the price of things, about parking. And inevitably, when you have something that's lighthearted and fun, it allows you to be in a good mood despite having no things to be in a good mood about. And I think that diffuses into other people.
Absolutely. And I wanted to touch on what you said earlier, which was, when you do deal with rejection in sales or prospecting, business development, do you ever take it personal anymore? Because I'll be honest, I still do sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's why. There's been so much work that I've done to overcome and graduate from that. But inevitably, you're going to take 5 steps forward and then you're going to take a step into familiarity. Oh, like, we went 90% of the way. We only really wanted you to go 10. We over-delivered here. We over-communicated. We were genuine in wanting to give. We're huge on that with ALLSMITH. Like, we don't want to be a brand that's takers. It's like any sort of deal or any sort of connection, we want it to be a win-win for both sides. And so the biggest thing that I've learned in alignment with managing rejection and taking it personal is unexplained expectations are premeditated resentments. And so going into every single relationship, creating the upfront expectations has allowed me to then realize like, okay, why am I taking it personal? Is this just a feeling that's going to pass similar to a car driving past? Or do I need to get in that car for a second and like better understand this? Is this a me thing? Or did I not create good enough expectations? Or did they not create good enough expectations? And I think when you allow the headspace to play in that like messy gray area and there's like fog on your lenses, it allows for each side to create a story that probably isn't true. Could be, but probably isn't. And that's where I think taking it personal is going to land on our lap for a little bit. What are your thoughts?
That's great. And I think you're spot on. I like the idea of kind of maybe flipping the script and saying, maybe what could I adjust or what could I have done differently is good. I find myself though, I've over the years, I for the most part am pretty resilient, but there are those couple scenarios where I'm just like, dang, dude, I think you're making the wrong decision. And I will say sometimes I'll even push back one more time, or in sales, maybe sometimes 10 more times. But at some point there's also a point where you just say, you know what, that's okay. I'm going to kind of take the best or I'm going to take the best and leave the rest, and really focus on the people that believe in me and want to do business with me or whatever it might be, or play volleyball with me or whatever it might be. And there's a lot of rejection on the volleyball front too.
What I'm feeling here based on what you're saying is I don't know that taking it personal is a bad thing. I think sometimes the world paints the picture that it is. But in what I just saw, if you communicate like, hey, I think you're making a mistake here, it shows true and genuine care. And you spend way more time in the real estate space than most other people that are wearing hats in different arenas. So to be able to come to you and realize like, hey, you're going to have somebody that has gas. And gas for me stands for give a shit. Means, hey, I'm looking at you, the human, and I think that this decision is going to optimize what you want and what you need. And here's why. And I think that there is something we talk about a lot on this show is just the blend between masculine and feminine. And I think it's a little bit of a feminine side. And I think being able to showcase that while prospecting, while in sales, like it is important. Otherwise you're just like stoic, nothing, you don't feel anything. You're just like, all right, F you, I'm on to the next one. Like on the phone with your assistant, this is a waste of time, like blah, blah, blah. And like now you're angry. And it's like holding on to a hot piece of coal. Like you're the one that gets burned, not them.
Totally.
And so I think it's a learning curve. I think it's a very important part of business that sometimes I'm stoked that you brought it up because it gets glossed over. People just come on podcasts and they want to talk about the shiny objects and all the success stories, but you've got to go through the rejection. And I also think there's a probability component where I might reach out to 100 people and get one response. And that's what I wanted to ask you about. Like what I take personal a little bit is not so much rejection. It's the ghosting culture that we're in right now, right? 100%. Like you put in time and attention to customize something to reach out to a particular person, or you're thinking about a person and there's no response. And I don't expect it to be right away. I don't expect it to be on my timeline, but 2 weeks is a pretty good window. And that's the thing. I'm curious your thoughts, and you know, maybe our listeners, if you want to put something in the comments, like why just not respond? Fuck, like it if you want, or just be like, hey, I'm busy right now, I'll take a look later. But to just not respond, and then here's the thing that really grinds my gears. You don't respond, and then later you reach out to me with an ask. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, so this is just a transactional relationship. I'm just a tool. I'm not actually somebody who you genuinely care about. And I think it comes down to people are fearful of having the hard conversation. They don't want to be mean, but I actually think it's meaner to just ghost and not respond.
I'm with you 1,000%. I don't have too many pet peeves in this world, but that's one of them.
Yeah.
And I'll even tell my wife all the time, I'm like, why couldn't they just send the email back that says, no, thanks, we're good, or whatever. I even sometimes will answer the call that I know as a real estate agent, you kind of answer every call because you never know, is this a potential buyer? Is this someone that I need to connect with? So I'll answer a lot of calls, even if maybe it even might even say spam there. And I try to even let people know, hey, I'm not interested right now. Thank you for reaching out, and best of luck in your prospecting. Because I've been on the other line so many times with people just not answering, hanging up, not calling me back. So even that little flicker of light for maybe someone on the other line, I know it's silly, I can't do it all the time, but I just always try to be respectful of that person's effort. Even if it's we hate the spam calls, but if I for some reason answer the phone and it's something I'm not interested, I'm very rarely just gonna like hang up on someone or be rude to them. It's just, hey, like best of luck in your prospecting. Like I'm not the one for you.
Yeah.
So I'm with you.
I think what's great about that is it gets you out of your head, and now you're putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. You're also playing with the perceptual position of like being a bird on the wall, watching the situation or maybe listening to the situation. And I don't know, I think of it in the sense of life's hard enough. I don't want to be the reason why I made it harder for somebody else.
Right.
So like you said, like just giving somebody some good energy. Hey, thanks for reaching out. Like I'm in the middle of something right now. If you want to call back, at this time, or shoot me a text and we can powwow via text a little bit, because I'm usually on the floor coaching or doing something here. And hey, we can set up a time to connect so I can give you my undivided attention versus something rushed right now, like timing's not good. Like being overly honest, I think is really cool. But something has happened in our world, man. You see it in social media where it's, I don't know if it's a narcissism, but it's like, and I don't even know that it's purposeful. I think people just get so stuck in their heads and they're just like, oh my gosh, I've got to pay that bill and I've got to make that appointment. I've got that call and I've got that meeting and I got to go pick up my kids and the traffic's bad and I got to get the oil changed. That all of those ruminating thoughts start playing ping pong. So inevitably there's sometimes like a shortness or a negative vibration that's put out into the world. And I try to accept that. Like even if I, didn't signal or I did something, I'm by all means not perfect. But I don't really allow those things to ruin my day. Just on the way here, somebody like cut in front of me. And I was like, you know what? She was probably thinking about a call she had earlier. Maybe she didn't have the best sleep in the morning. Like, I'm not going to let that one thing ruin my day.
Yeah.
Had to slam on the brake a little bit. I'm fine. I'm glad that my reaction time can do that. And I'm glad she's safe too. And now we can go about our day in peace. I don't need to sit there on the horn and flipping people off. I think that's something that I wish more people took time to just like sit with for a second of, hey, that wasn't the best outcome. They were probably trying to make the best decision. It didn't go that way. Let me give them some grace.